That identity is what Swamiji had the experience. It's such a very beautiful experience. Two incidents happened. One incident in near Almora, where not Almora, near Darjeeling, when he was moving, he was going with one of the brahmacharis along with him, and both were in the morning walk. While walking, the mountains are like that. There's a gorge is there, and the mountain road, serpentine road, it goes like that. So, in the other side of the road, a Bhutia tribal man, he was holding a shack of firewood on his back, and that bag is tied by a rope, and the rope comes on his head. So this shack is lying on his back, and he was walking. And Swamiji also was walking in this side of the road. Suddenly he looked at that man. At that moment, that rope tied, where he tied, got loosened, and the entire bunch of firewood fell on the foot of that Bhutia tribal man. Swamiji saw that. The moment he saw that, he screamed with pain. The brahmachari said, Maharaj, what has happened? Why you are having this pain? Why you are screaming? Nothing has happened to your foot. Swamiji sat down on the road. Nothing has happened to your foot. Then Swamiji said, look there. And the boy saw. And there, that Bhutia sitting down, and he was screaming, that he watched. That identity, though he is at a very far away place, even though he is not accessible to that man was suffering from a distance, and immediately he suffered. He felt that the whole bunch of firewood fell on his foot. Yesterday in our class, we were discussing these ideas, this particular idea of empathy. And there are much more examples. As a devotee of Ramakrishna, you all know, in Ramakrishna's life itself, what a beautiful example, that some boatman was beaten on the other side of the river. And Sri Ramakrishna says, somebody has beaten me on my back. And then Hriday says, Mama, nobody has beaten you. I am staying with you. I am standing next to you. But look here. And when Hriday saw, there was a champ. There is an impression of a fingerprint. That boatman was beaten. And he felt. This is about the human beings. He could feel the empathy. But Sri Ramakrishna's empathy went further, not merely restricting with humans. It went to the simple grass. A flesh, green grass was lying there. And Sri Ramakrishna was looking at the grass at the time, completely absorbed in the meditation on the grass. And somebody walked over. And he screamed, as if somebody has walked over him. That means you understand, the empathy can be with the men or women or the children. And the empathy can be extended to other objects of the universe, like grass Sri Ramakrishna experienced, like Shirdi Sai Baba experienced with a dog. Like that, if you take the lives of many saints, you will find many, many types of examples of how they have identified with the other being. Can you identify with the entire universe? This entire universe is nothing but a case. As this body and mind that we see is nothing but a case for the Jivatma which is residing within me. So that entire universe itself is a case, and somebody is residing within that Prakriti. That cosmic principle, can you identify with that cosmic principle? That means you are identifying yourself with the entire universe. And that's how the rishis in the Vedic time, they identified, and they say, we can't even express these ideas, they say. Ha, hu, ha. That is the three sounds that come out from the rishis. In Taittiriya Upanishad you will find. The rishi is telling about the universe. And then at one time he stops and he says, ha, hu, ha. He cannot express. The identification of the universe is very difficult to express. But Swamiji did not express his experience. What he said was, in terms of, say, language, You have to put it now. How do you put? So Swamiji says there is no, you cannot separate the idea from the word or vice versa. The word from the idea. The idea and the word are both are united inseparably. So I'm giving an example. If I tell you horse, you understand what horse is. Immediately you will know, yes, Swamiji, I know what is horse. You can immediately say that horse, yes. So that is the word that I'm pronouncing, which is called vak. And the concept that the word signifies, whatever the horse may mean, that concept is called artha. So in Sanskrit, the same Kalidasa speaks about this. He wrote many books. So we saw the Kumara Sambhavam. Likewise, he wrote another book, Kumara Sambhavam, that is one book, and that is called Raghuvamsham. That's another great work he did. Raghuvamsham deals in 3 parts: before Sri Ram, during Sri Ram, and after Sri Ram. The lineage of Sri Ram, that is called Raghuvamsham. In that book, very first verse, Kalidasa prays to Lord Shiva and Parvati. How beautifully he prays, He says, Vagartau iva sampriktau Vagartha pratipattaye. There's the first line he writes. Jagata pitaro vande Parvati parameshwarau. He says, Pitaro vande. Who is Pitaro? Parent. Jagata pitaro. Who is the parent of this universe? Who is immanent in the universe? Which is called macrocosm, Swamiji calls it. That principle, the parent of the universe who are immanent in the universe, that universe, that he says, Vande Parvati Parameshwarau. To both of you, to my parents, he says Pitarau. Only one word he uses, Pitarau, parents. And to my parents, and who are these Pitarau? To whom they are parents? They are parents not to any one individual or 10 individuals or 100 individuals. They are parent to the entire universe. Jagata Pitarau. And how they remain? They remain Vagartha iva sampriktau. He says, they are inseparable like vak, the word, and the artha, the idea. The word and idea cannot be separated. You try to think of something without a word. Try in your intellectual exercise. You will not be able to know. If any new word you get, suppose absolutely I do not know. A word is, suppose the horse word in English, but suppose you tell me in Chinese language a word for a term for horse. Well, I do not know. Yes, I will say that I don't know. But the moment the concept of the Chinese word horse is there, otherwise they won't use that word. In their languages, they may be using. So the languages are said to be phonetics only. They are only sound only. They are not the ideas. So there is a difference between an idea and the sound of it. So horse, even Chinese as well as Irish have got the horse concept. Because in Ireland, even the horses are there. So I do. So the horse concept is there in everywhere. In India, horse was not known, but horses in Arabic land. We have plenty of horses. Suddenly, what happened to the horses, we don't know. There were no horses at all in India. And the historians say, only from the Arabian countries, we imported horses, they say. This is historical point. But then the concept of horse is everywhere. It may be different in the pronunciation of the word meaning horse. But if we all English speaking, we all understand English. That means when I say horse, everybody who knows English understands the concept of the word, the sound of the word horse. So cow, crow, these are the words, sounds, mind you. This ka, ra, wo, crow, these sounds are also in Chinese also, in Tamil also. But if you put in that language, that sound may mean something else. A particular, so what we do, generally what we do we do the mistake that the sound and the word are same thing. No. So Kalidasa clearly says, the vak, he says vak. He did not say shabda. The words that we use in our language, they are called shabdas, not vak. Vak is a beautiful term. Vak and the concept, the vak signifies, are inseparable. Like that, Parvati Parameshwara are there. So he says, Vagartha Pratipatye. Kalidasa is praying to Lord Shiva and Parvati, please give me that comprehension of the idea and the words that I am going to use. They are inseparable. That means what I am going to tell, it should be clear cut to everybody. So this is the Swamiji quotes from Raghuvamsha. See how much he has studied all our literature, you see. Kalidasa literature he has studied so well. And he quotes this. And he says that the disciple, later after coming to Belur, he was talking to his disciple. At that time, Swamiji is telling him, what is your plan, etc. The disciple is asking, Sharat Chandra Babu is asking. So Sharat Chandra Babu is looking there at Swamiji's. And Swamiji quotes from this very verse, which I quoted now, Vagartho iva samprittau, Vagartha pratipattaye, Jagata pitaro vande, Parvati Parameshwara. Says he quotes this. And Swamiji explains to Sharat Chandra Babu, look, the word and the concept that word signifies are inseparable. So, if that is so, why he brought this example? To say that this microcosm and macrocosm are inseparable. Whatever happening in the microcosm is happening in the macrocosm. So when Swamiji went to America, he spoke these two lectures he gave. One macrocosm and one is microcosm in Los Angeles. You'll see that lecture. Both the lectures, if you read, if you go through it, you'll understand Swamiji speaks here not out of intellectual gymnasium, or gymnasium as they call it. No, not intellectual gymnasium. He speaks about microcosm and macrocosm out of his experience that he had at Kakri Ghat. Before coming to Kakri Ghat, already he had the experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi in Kashipur, that we all know that. So, okay, I will speak a little slowly, then my voice may not break. So, this experience...
No, I think not for that, Maharaj. I think there is some problem in the internet or like that.
Okay then, thank you. So, this macrocosm, microcosm oneness, when he said, now has it come out in the form of empathy? In Swamiji's life, you see, there are many instances, but we are not worried about other instances. We are now concerned about what he experienced in Himalayas. That is what we are worried. So one of the incidents which our Sister Nivedita recounts, that I must read it out because her words are so beautiful, I cannot explain in the beautiful way that she has explained about Swamiji. I'll just tell you about that.